Hey guys, welcome to another episode of KrawlZone.tv. Today we are at the Big Bear Forest Fest in Big Bear, California. Here at the Big Bear Forest Fest, we are on the John Bull Trail. We're traveling together with our friends from Poison Spider Customs, S-Pod, and Rebel Offroad. You're going to see it here on KrawlZone.tv.
Today's trail is John Bull Trail. It's one of the probably a handful of black diamond trails in the Forest Service system up here. Black diamond is rated one of their highest or most difficult trails. It's not geared towards the guy with the stock rig. You have to be somewhat set up to get through here. And the trail John Bull is probably one of either the toughest one available up here, or if not the toughest, it's the second toughest trail up here. John Bull Trail is named after the miner John Bull from the 1800s, and this was his access road to his claim. So if you can imagine what we're going over now, they had to get to every day to get to their gold mine. So they were some true pioneers and much more rugged than what we are today doing it in beautiful Jeeps with high suspension and air conditioning. So, but it's nice. I mean, this whole mountain's got a lot of history in it, and that's kind of why we keep coming back. It's a beautiful place to wheel.
The S-Pod power distribution system empowers your appetite for accessories. Designed to bypass the Jeep's native CAN bus system, S-Pod allows you to install components to your ride without interfacing with the OEM electrical system. Rock on with S-Pod and feel the power.
We're at the Big Bear Forest Fest 2011. We're at the Snow Valley parking lot with the Inland Empire 4-Wheel Drive Club, our biggest fundraiser for the year. We are cooking 337 pounds of tri-tip, 167 pounds of marinated chicken. We've got baked beans, Caesar salad, bread knots, and then for dessert, strawberry shortcake. It's gonna be so good. People come for the beans and the meat. So if you haven't heard of the Big Bear Forest Fest, you should look it up and come on. San Bernardino Mountains, Southern California.
Hey guys, we're hanging out with Randall from Axial. Tell us about what you've got on the table here.
Well, we've got several different RC cars. We've got the new hot ticket item, the Axial Wraith. This item comes with a 20-turn motor. It's brand new. It's got these 2.2 Ripsaw tires, and it's also got the labeled licensed Rebel or the Raceline Renegade wheels. You can see that there's some of our partners in the business there. This car will do about 15-20 miles an hour. It's got solid axle suspension. It's got a 4-link setup on it. It's got coilover shocks on it, and it really reacts on the trails like a KOH rig. Pretty much handles the washboards, handles the rock crawling zones, and just kind of pounds through everything. We'll be driving them a little bit later.
I want to drive this right now.
Hi, welcome to Big Bear Forest Fest. I'm Vaughn Gilmer from Rebel Offroad. We build custom Jeeps. As well as that, we distribute a whole host of different components for Jeeps. This particular Jeep runs on coilover kit, our bolt-on coilover kit. It's super smooth to drive. It runs on 37-inch tires, beadlock wheels. It's got all sorts of fancy components on them. Some of them are going to be inside, which we'll show you here in a second. One of the items that we've installed on here is, of course, a Warn winch. Fantastic winch to run, very reliable. It's going to get you out of sticky situations. And in this case, we switched to synthetic winch cable. Synthetic winch cable is fantastic from the standpoint that it's actually stronger than steel. It's not going to snap, and if it did snap, it's going to fall onto the ground as opposed to turn into a projectile for you. So on this Jeep, we're running coilovers. They give you much greater advantage over a coil spring, far greater control, and much more wheel droop, so you can control the vehicle on the big obstacles, get it to flex out a lot more than running regular coil springs with a shock. The hydraulic bump stop will control you when you're getting on the side hill and things get a little out of control. Instead of having the vehicle open up on itself, it's not going to do it when you're running our coilover kit. We've put in bucket seats from Mastercraft. They are heated both front and back. But in addition to that, outside of the comfort factor, you can also run 5-point harnesses inside them. Is this necessary? Well, it really depends on the type of trails you're going to be doing, as well as how safe you want to feel inside the vehicle and the occupants that are going to be inside it. We're also running a rock-hard roll cage. These roll cages are designed to protect the occupants, but in addition to that, protect the vehicle. In the event of a rollover, the occupants, 9 times out of 10, are going to be absolutely fantastic, not a scratch on them when you're jeeping. We've also installed a rock camera system. These are cameras that we put in both the front and the back of the vehicle so that they're pointing down at the rocks. We do this so that not everyone is going to need a spotter. You can actually spot yourself with these particular rock cameras. When it comes to airing up your tires and running air tools to fix your vehicle on the trail, you need some serious air equipment. We've attached the power tanks. There's 2 of them inside of here. These particular ones are 10-gallon tanks. And the goal behind these is to run air tools to fix your rig on the trail, but also to inflate your tires after a good day's wheeling. These bad boys here will air your tires up in no time. You're back on the trail, you'll keep the family happy, you'll keep the kids happy, and a big smile on your face too, because you can get where you're going afterwards.
McCrae from Poison Spider, hanging out at the Big Bear Forest Fest, and you're watching KrawlZone.tv.
Big Bear, California is full of rich history. And while we were on the trail at the Big Bear Forest Fest, we teamed up with Randy Stockberger, a local historian, to learn a little bit more about Big Bear's rich history.
I'm here with local historian Randy, and he's going to tell us a little bit about some of the cool things in this area. Randy, what do we got behind us?
Well, this is the hangman tree. Back in 1860s, 1861, 62, 64, in that area, this whole area behind us here was a city site of Belleville. At one point, and during the gold rush, there were over 2,400 people living in this area. You've got miners, you've got gold, you've got people working their butts off, and then you've got shenanigans going on, people that you've got something, they want to take it from you. There was no law, no courts. A lot of people met justice at the end of the rope, and this is evidence of one of those. If you look up the tree, you can see where the branches have been cut off. Every time they hung a desperado, well, they cut the branch off. This is just one of several. Most of the times, wherever the crime happened to be, that's where justice was taken care of.
Okay, so Randy, we've come to another spot here on the trail. We're standing next to Wilburs Grave. Can you tell us a little bit about him?
Sure. Wilbur was the very first assayer up here in Belleville in the 1860s. Wilbur was a man of respect. Everyone agreed with him, thought he was a fair man, so he was chosen to be the assayer. He was the one that set the markers, the boundaries, and then from there on it just went up. He also was an entrepreneur. Behind us is Wilbur's Pond. The miners would need water to do the panning of their gold or run their sluice boxes. He dug this pond. It's basically winter runoff, but he'd sell the water to the miners. That's how he got his color. But he always said that this place is as close to heaven on earth as he'd ever going to find. So when he dies, he wants to be buried right here. When he died, that's where his friends put him to rest. It's been there ever since.
So we're here at the Cabin in the Sky after a 3/4 mile hike up the hill.
Straight up the hill.
Straight up the hill. Thanks a lot, Randy. But it was worth it. What do we got behind us?
Well, this is the Cabin in the Sky. We don't know anything about the owner. Just that it was built in the late 1800s, 1880s, 1890s. It's quite an endeavor. You can see that the logs are pretty massive. There actually was a peak roof to it, so it had a loft. There's a mine on the other side. It's called the open pit mine. He was just mining for gold. He's got a PTO winch on the other side to use to bring supplies up. There's remnants of a road left to actually pull wagons up the hill.
All right, we're coming to the end of the John Bull Trail. We've got 100 yards of downhill boulder goodness. Let's see how we do. Hey guys, thank you for joining us along the John Bull Trail today on KrawlZone.tv. We'll see you next time. That's probably not going to cut out.
Where's Matador?
I don't know. You see Matador?
Where's Matador?
I don't know.
I have no idea where Matador
I don't know,
is.
man. Where's Matador? Did anybody see him?
We lost him. Where's Matador?
That's a freaking